Thank you, Matt. After Wednesday night victory over Loyola, we let the team off for Thanksgiving, had 3 days off. Brought it back Sunday evening, had a nice practice at the Cajun Dome. Had another one yesterday. We'll prepare again today, a little bit more specific for Monroe. We worked on ourselves the last 2 days. And practice tomorrow, leave afterwards to head up to Monroe to play against a good Monroe team that's doing a good job defensively. Last night they beat Chattanooga, who had won the Emerald Coast Classic in their division, a team that beat Georgia, Illinois. So it was a nice win for Monroe last night at home. They're undefeated at home and will present a challenge for us. They are second in the league in field goal defense, second league in scoring defense at 61 a game, and they've done a very good job defensively to this stage. So I know we'll have a tough game with those guys. Last year they beat us up there in a game late in the season, and we had the lead, actually had an 8-point lead with about 10 minutes to go, and hit a dry spell. Things went right for them and wrong for us, and they got the lead and beat us. So this is a game that's important. It's the first game of our conference season, even though it's a little bit out of character to be playing the first week of December, a conference game. It's an important game for us, and it's the only time that we'll go to Monroe to play. So I think there'll be a factor in the league standings, so it's an important game for us. We need to play well in, and we did some good things against Loyola. Felt like we got better defensively, and we look forward to continuing to defend and try to get conference off to a great start on Thursday night.
What are some of the issues that ULM presents defensively? Like what really stands out to what they do well on that side?
Well, they play a slow pace, so they give up 61 points a game. As I said, was second in conference. They give up 37% from the field, which is second in conference. Last year they played about 60-40 zone and man against us, but this year they're playing more man. They played all man last night against Chattanooga. I got to think it'll be a combination of both, but they're doing a good job keeping the ball in front and guarding without fouling. They're also a good rebounding team.
When you do face that zone look, how important is it to get your bigs involved in the passing?
Well, it's always involved to go inside out and go to the high post against zone. And we've got to make shots as well from the high post. Our guys are doing well. I'm pleased with our inside players. They've done a real good job. Our guards have got to pick up their end of the bargain moving forward, but the post players have done a good job.
Is Bryce going to be available tomorrow?
You should be. He practiced the last 2 nights. Luke did a good job. The time off was good for him. The doctor said, I met with him after I met with you guys on Wednesday night. The doctor said that everything looked good. He does have some issues that have to be cleared up or cleaned out after the season, looks like, but so far he should be able to make it through.
Did you make any decisions on who you like in that first group on the floor?
As far
First group on the floor? Who do you like in your starting group?
I like the group we started the other night. I mean, if that's what you're asking, and we may go the same way, we may not. We'll see. We've had good practice, competitive practice the last 2 days, and I think we've gotten a lot better. So, but we've got to be able to defend and execute on the offensive end.
Was Walker fine?
Yeah, he's good. Tim, he bumped knees. He actually bumped him again yesterday in practice, but he's fine. Well, he hurt his back the other night too in the fall. You're right, but he's good. Everybody's healthy and ready to go.
With Ungwai, is that a matchup you prefer Sean with, or maybe Walker? How do you kind of go up against him?
Anwar?
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about him because he graduated last year.
Oops.
Was an all-conference player, did a good job. Set a school record for minutes played. No, he's gone. He's the one guy.
Timing week for Travis.
He's the one guy that I'm not concerned about. That's for sure. But he was a really good player for him. First team all-league guy, and he was their glue guy last year. They're starting Capola at the 1, Robertson at the 2. The 2 guards that played last year. They're very tough, good defenders. They don't shoot the ball great from the perimeter, but they can make plays. They're winners. And they're starting Samuel, the 6'9", young man from New Orleans, from Carr, transferred from Illinois State. He'll start at the 3. And they're starting Munnings, a 22-year-old freshman from the Bahamas at the 4. That came from Sunrise Christian in Kansas. And at the 5, they're starting Dean, who's off to a good start. Was a third-team All-League guy last year. And can do a lot of things because he's 6'10", he shoots a 3, he leads them in three-point attempts on the year. Can block shots, can rebound the ball, excellent free throw shooter.
Coach, you mentioned Capola, and he's a guy at times last year that gave you some problems when you played him. As you said, he does a lot of the little things right. You know, what's going to be the secret for him?
Just a winner, BJ. He reminds me of his coach. You know, I coached Keith when my first year as a GA there. We went to the NCAA tournament. It was Mike Beining's first year with the head coach, and Keith was a senior point guard. And just a gutsy player. I mean, take charges, make
Very
the right
intelligent.
play. Very, very similar. The only thing, I think Keith shot the ball better from the perimeter than Capola does, but they're very similar in the fact they do whatever you need them to do to win, and because of Keith's got a point guard just like him, you know, and he's got that same thought process. So he's a tough guy to contain. He's a winner. Last night against Chattanooga, didn't do much. The game was close. Last 5 minutes, he scored all his points, took over when they needed him to score. So just like you'd like from your point guard, get everyone else involved, and then if the game needs to be controlled late, he can do that. But Jay will have his hands full. He's a little bit bigger. He's up to about 195. He's stronger. He's gained some weight. And he's a 2-year starter. So he's playing with a lot of confidence. And second last year in minutes played on their team. Second in school history for a single season in minutes played by Capola.
Hayward registers sitting right at about 20% shooting from 3. What's the biggest issue you've seen so far?
Well, he needs to put it in the basket. And yesterday, he probably shot 10 for 12 in our scrimmage and lit it up from 3. He's defending well. He's working hard. I'm pleased with Hayward. I said this last time. He didn't play great the other night from a shooting standpoint, but he made a couple of plays. I think I mentioned this to you that didn't affect the box score, but affected the outcome of the game. And he did the same thing in practice yesterday. By running his lane, he's drawing help and attention to him, which opens up the guys running to the rim. That's the main thing that he can do is help space the floor because he's capable of getting going at any time. And we'll see how he practices the next 2 days, but I'm pleased with him where he is right now defensively.
You said you're looking for more from the guard play on your team. A couple of specifics in that department?
Just consistency. You know, Jay Wright's gotten off to a good start and played well. He shot the ball well. In fact, we've got 4 guys in the top 8 in the conference in field goal percentage. We're shooting the ball well and lead the league in field goal percentage. But just consistency. We need more guys to be consistent. Jonathan's played good for a half and so-so for a half, although he shot the ball well. I need him to be more aggressive, be a little bit better defensively. Certainly Hayward needs to be better defensively. And he has gotten better in the last week. I think our whole team has. Casey, same boat. He's got to be stronger with the ball, not turn it over, be better defensively. And Casey didn't shoot the ball well the other night. I mean, he'll be back. He had a really good practice yesterday.
I do know this: you are second in the country in scoring offense. That still stays the same. You have played some faster pace games to open the year. What are the challenges of really kind of seems like it could be dialed back down against ULM?
Well, this one's going to be dialed down. I mean, we met this morning as a staff, and I asked Kevin Johnson, who's got the scout, I said, what's the magic number, 75? And he said, I think that's it to a T. So it's not quite 96 or whatever we're averaging, but we're going to have to score enough to win, and we got to defend those guys. But they've controlled the pace. You know, their game last night was 64-54 against Chatty. That's exactly the way they want it to be. So we'll try to speed them up a little bit. Capola, again, a seasoned point guard. It's hard to speed up. Got a good pace to him. Good strong game. But we will try to score, and we'll try to run the ball when we have the opportunity. And, you know, it all starts with our defense. If we can get some stops, we'll get some easy baskets.
Coach, what is Wood giving to you in that rotation? What is he doing, and does he help you along with combination with Stove on Dean maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday night?
Yeah, he can. Steve Ronkowski's in that mix as well, and they're different. Steve He's been here for a long time. He understands exactly what I want. Shot the ball, made a couple of shots against Loyola, and was able to play a lot of minutes. And then Tyrone is a newcomer. He's more athletic than Steve, better defensively, but just doesn't have the understanding after being here for a few months. So I think all three of those guys will be important for us in this game. And Tyrone's defense could be big because Tyrone's a tough young man from Memphis, and he will not back down from competition. And if I challenge him, he'll step it up.
You talked about the speed of the game. Right now, y'all kind of, between you and ULM, y'all have kind of opposite styles, as y'all are talking about. As a coach, what have you seen in the past? Is it easier to speed up a game or slow down a game as a coach?
I think it's always easier to slow it down because you can hold the basketball. And now you don't have a 5-second count, so you can really limit the possessions in the ball game. You can dribble the clock out and shoot it at the end of the 30-second shot clock if that was your desire. But I think it's always easier to slow down than speed up. It's been my opinion, and we'll try to pick the tempo up a little bit. Again, I like for us to score 80, but don't know that would happen. The main thing is to score one more than they do, and the defense will play a big part of that. But we've got a couple of games coming up with contrasting styles. Little Rock's #1 in the country in scoring. They're giving up 51 a game. We're second at 96. Well, something's got to give at some point in time, and I think it goes to the defense in those situations. I really do. We'll play those guys coming up soon, but Monroe's the same type of team. They're going to play the same way, play at a pace, and try to slow you down.
Coach, you said you want to see more from your guards with this pace of play against ULM. You're going to need patience from them. Is it kind of a test for them, for you to see how they respond with so much pressure on them?
Yeah, it'll be a different look for them. We'll have to be disciplined on defense. We'll have to make stops to end the shot clock and not gamble and guard without fouling. We can't put them at the free throw line. We've done a good job of getting the free throw line. We need to continue to do that, and we need to make our free throws as well. But it'll be a disciplined game, and it's a guard game. You go back and look at the last time we were on the road at Alabama. We did not play well from the guard spot, let those guys get comfortable, and they really dictated the game.
55 points in both matchups against them last year. I'm sure that number's been tossed around to your guys this week, and are they kind of using those games as motivation for them to kind of go out and do something different this year?
Well, they know exactly what we have to do, Luke, and how many points. We just said 75, so you get the nail on the head. We discussed that in the staff meeting this morning also. And the guys are anxious to play. They know it's a conference game. They know it's a rival game. And it's the first game of our conference season. And as I've mentioned earlier, we only go to Monroe one time. So we need to make sure that we give our best effort and see what we can score. Now, 2 years ago, we went up there and scored 105 points, I think, or 104, lost in triple overtime. And should have won the basketball game. We didn't. Missed some free throws in both overtimes that would have won it, and then wound up losing. But the other scores have been dialed down. As you mentioned, they've been lower. So our guys are ready for the challenge. They know last year that one of those losses, or both those losses, kept us from finishing second in the conference, or possibly winning the conference outright. We were out by 2 games, I think. So.
In a game with fewer possessions, does that kind of make it even more important for you to tell guys don't have any empty possessions and take care of the ball?
It is. No, absolutely, Ryan. We talked yesterday. Our thought for the day was take care of the basketball and offense. It's something we've got to do. We had a couple of bad turnovers against Loyola that I wasn't really pleased with. So we have to be strong with the basketball. We have to make each possession count. That's another thing we touched on Sunday night as we come back. That there were a few possessions in the middle of the first half against Miami and against Alabama. The game got away from us, and we played fine. We scored 50 points in all 4 games in the second half. All right, I don't think that'll happen on Thursday. Back to Luke's comment, we had 55. We scored 50, so we played fine. But there were some possessions in the first half where the game got away from us, and we can't have empty possessions on offense or defense. And we have to string it together. I talked to the team yesterday about, we finished practice Sunday night. I got home about 10:30, and I watched the last half of Michigan State and Providence. I don't know if any of you guys saw that game, but Providence has a dynamite point guard named Chris Dunn. It's going to be a first-round pick, and they've got the game under control with about 10 minutes to go. I mean, they're winning the game and outplaying Michigan State. And Michigan State got it to 2, or actually went ahead by 2. And they jump up and hit a three-point shot to go up 1. Well, they reviewed it, and it was on the guy's fingertips when the horn goes off. So I told our team, I said, I was anxious to see how Providence was going to respond to a big play in the game. I mean, take the wind out of their sail. And they go down, they defend for 28 seconds, and Matthew McQuaid hits a 3 for Michigan State. So it's a 6-point swing right there, and they lose the game by 11, and it's a 2-point game, basically. So every possession's huge, and when something goes wrong, you can't dwell on it. You've got to move forward, turn the page.
I know free throw shooting for both Sean and Jay was something you wanted to improve on this year. Both are still under 60% right now. Is that something that you're worried about, or something you think is going to kind of iron itself out over time?
No, it'll work itself out, Luke. We practice on free throws every day. Sean was 7 for 8 the other night. And before we played Alabama, Sean was 12 for 12 in a drill we did in practice, and then he went out and missed about 5 in that game, 5 or 6. So we'll get him back. But Sean has to make his. If he does, if he gets it to 70%, he'll average 20, 24 points a game instead of 21.
Coach, in your opinion, has Sean been handling the ups and downs of this season in a more mature fashion?
Yeah, he's done a great job. As we talked about before, I'm very proud of Sean for the work he's put in and the way he's come to practice every day and play. He's definitely improved from offense to defense to a preparation standpoint. And, we need him to have a big game. He obviously is leading the league in scoring, rebounding, block shots. And he's a fine player, and he's an outstanding rebounder. So hopefully he will continue his solid play, and he's moving his feet better, staying out of foul trouble, another big plus for us.
Feel a little weird getting up for a conference game on December 3rd?
It's different the first week. I go back to when Sean was a freshman. He and Steve were freshmen. We played at Michigan State actually on a Sunday, and then came back and played on Thursday night. We played Middle Tennessee here and got beat. It was a tough game. Middle Tennessee was very good. Then we turned around on Friday. We busted North Texas and beat Johnny Jones in North Texas. And Sean was 8 for 8 from the free throw line that game. I remember that. Steve Ronkowski hits a three-pointer with a minute to go that sealed the game for us. So that was a November, December game, but it's unusual. But when you play 20 games, you're going to have to start early or play 3 in a week, and we're going to do both this year. So best time that we could play this game, I think I mentioned to you before, we wanted to open up with this game Friday the 13th of November. Keith and those guys didn't want to do that, so it was the best date for Monroe. They're the home team, so we're kind of at their mercy.
Everybody good?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.